What's good, beautiful people? How are you? I send you peace, light, love, and harmony, as I always do about this time. Turn this down. Why? Because divine karma loves you, baby. All right. So I just got out the shower and laid down. Y'all don't judge me, right? I made a video earlier about know thyself, and someone made a very good comment because I was using the Gregorian calendar as a reference to time. And somebody had commented like there's only like 8,700 and some change hours in a year, right? And I was like, yeah, I wasn't really speaking in Gregorian calendar time. I just used it for a reference to time. So thank you for the person that kind of put that out there, because I was like, it might be confusing to people. Y'all know I look at time different, because time is an illusion, because the past, present, and future is always happening at the exact same time simultaneously. So I decided to make a little part 2 to that video about knowing thyself. It's a very, very famous ancient Kemet saying that a lot of people say, especially in the conscious community, as I said earlier, right? But there's also, in ancient times, they spoke of, in order to master something, you had to put in 10,000 hours, right? You had to do something for 10,000 hours. My previous video, I referenced like time in like a year. Again, there is 8,000 and some change hours in a year. So, but I was just using that as a reference. So I'm gonna clear that up. Thank you. Right. But to master something, you had, like, it was 10,000 hours, and they would consider you a master. And I spoke earlier about, so do you really know thyself? We come here, we're supposed to master ourselves, right? That is the first thing you're supposed to master. We do master things, in this matrix outside of ourselves, right? But 10,000 hours is what the ancient, people would say, 10,000 hours, and then you would be a master at something, right? So have you mastered thyself? Have you put in the 10,000 hours to know thyself, right? Shadow work, overstanding past, lives, karmic cycle situations, going within. Instead of searching for something outside of you, going within to do the work within, to the core of your soul for 10,000 hours, right? To know thyself. And it sounds like a really simple thing to do, but have you really put in 10,000 hours, right? Of that time, so to speak, And I won't say in 12 months, because, that's the Gregorian calendar, but I'm speaking energetically. Have you? Have you really indulged yourself in trying to understand why karmic situations, karmic relationships are in your life? Why certain lessons were put on your journey at certain times in your life? Why do you love the way you love or don't? Why do you treat yourself the way that you do? What are your triggers? Right? Do you know thyself? Have you spent 10,000 hours sitting, connecting with source and your guides and angels, asking questions, getting access to your Akashic records? Do you know thyself? And when it comes to, time on this Gregorian calendar, 10,000 hours, just think, if you work a full-time job, 40 hours a week, you've already snatched a large chunk of that out of trying to master and know thyself, given to the matrix. Let alone if you work a full-time job, go to school, working 2 jobs, trying to raise a family, marry, come home, cook dinner, watch the news, help the children with the homework, and get up and do it all over again. Like, you've already taken so much time out of the 10,000 hours and given it to the matrix instead of going within to know thyself. How many people can truly say they've spent 10,000 hours doing shadow work, right? understanding their destiny, getting answers on why they're here, fulfilling out the reason that source put you here, right? In this journey, in this lifetime. Sitting with self and going within and understanding the lessons that have made you you. Have you spent 10,000 hours in this lifetime, right? Realizing what the best version of you is. Have you done that? 10,000 hours worth of all of this to realize what the best version of you is. What is the best version of you? Do you even know what that looks like? What lessons did you have to learn? Did you even realize at some point that you were going through things in your life at a certain time to learn a lesson? Did you even realize that? 10,000 hours. Do you know thyself? Have you mastered self? How can you master anything out in this world, in this matrix, when we haven't even mastered us? You haven't even mastered you. Knowledge, know thyself. Knowledge is to know your ledger. You are your ledger, right? Have you put the 10,000 hours in to actually be able to say, what if there was a certification, diploma, or degree to know thyself? And in order to get it, my mind works different. In order to move on into the best version of you, you had to get this diploma or degree or certificate for 10,000 hours of work put in to know thyself. Would you get to move on to be the best version of you because you put those 10,000 hours in? Right? Better late than never. I started putting in my 10,000 hours about 10 years ago, right? And I'm about, probably about 65%, 70% of the way there, right? If you had to graduate, right, from lower self to higher self, from the mediocre matrix you to the best version, spiritual, enlightened, connected, all the way to divine or God or source or whoever that is for you, if you had to graduate, and that was the option, and to graduate, to get to that higher self, to get to your God and Goddess frequency, and graduate and get that doctorate's degree, right? To get that, you had to do 10,000 hours to go within. How many of you would graduate with their doctorates, right? To know thyself, right? So that's my repost of that video. And thank you for the individual, because I didn't even think about it till you mentioned it. And I was like, I really wasn't talking about Gregorian time. I knew there was 8,000 and some hours. And I was like, well, maybe I'm going to clear this video up. So thank you, individual. This is your girl, Divine Karma. Y'all know the drill. I love you, and I love it when you love me back. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.